Good morning. I am waiting for mine to bounce up. Let's see if we get there. While we're waiting for that. We're calling to order the August meeting of the Conservation Commission at 5 o'clock. Let us go around the horn and see who's where.
Michelle Fitzpatrick, Secretary.
Ray Rafferty, Vice Chair.
Ann Schmidt, member.
Larry Dunn, Chair.
Tom Olson, member. He's
Dave-
allowing people to talk here.
And Dave Prescott, staff, and Giselle, there she is.
All right. So that was the roll call. First item of business is the approval of minutes. Those July 7th, 2005. I do have a couple of comments.
Right, so let's get on the table first. So I move we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Now we can have discussion.
Now we have comments. So in the first, under report of chair, the sentence doesn't make.
I saw that too.
sense to me.
Has been paid.
I assume that commission members has been paid. Is that?
It's been renewed.
It's been renewed, yeah.
Okay. And on open space inventory 6.1, the cog will ground truth open space town parcels is up.
Yes, that's what that's what they're supposed to do, meaning that they're supposed to go, and that was part of what they had said in the email. that they-
Oh, so it's true open space, not truth open space?
No, ground truth. Ground truth basically means you're gonna go out and check to see if it matches up with the data.
Oh, okay.
But there is an extra space there.
Yeah.
Instead, was it two space? Is it ground and truth instead of one word?
No, it's ground truth open. Between truth and open, there looks like there's two spaces.
Yeah, okay.
We're there, you know.
Okay,
But he has to change
Unless
something.
it's supposed to put a comment.
no, we changed the first one. It said renewed, so. that
Yeah,
was-
Brent.
That's what I mean. I mean, if there were no other changes, I would say, who cares? But
Any other comments?
those were the ones I actually had.
Under open space inventory, CCOG used to be SCCOG, but lately they're
Yeah, now it's,
SE.
yeah, they
See 'em?
changed. They,
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
I don't know
I know.
why.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Southern Connecticut.
Southeastern.
South-
Southeastern, yeah, that's, I don't,
It doesn't make any sense because their logos still look.
I
like
know.
it's-
I
Okay.
don't, it's,
All right, we'll defer.
I can't control them.
With the changes as discussed. All in favor? Giselle?
Hi, sorry, hi.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that was, Michelle, you made the motion? Motion, you
Yeah.
second, yep, I got
Yeah.
that, yep. Just want to clarify that. You got it.
Everyone here said aye. Okay, next item, section 3, public communications. Do we have any public communications other than we'll get to Samantha, or sorry, Tabitha from the bids.
Yeah, do we have any public communications from online? If so, put a thumbs up and I can promote you. Or raise your hand or one of those.
Going once, going twice. Okay. So the next is the Wolfbrook Forest Management Plan presentation. And if you go to the agenda package, we do have the detailed forest management plan. And turn it over to you, Tabitha.
Yeah, I just promoted her, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna pin her. Please pin. There she is.
She is.
Hey, Tabitha.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I have a little PowerPoint that summarizes some major points.
Okay.
But I know you also have a copy of the forest management plan. By the way, I'm Tabitha Wilson. I am the manager of Parks and Open Space for the Parks and Recreation Department.
You get the, she's got the presentation.
She does.
She has it.
Yeah. go
Yeah,
ahead.
she's she's just
Sure.
sharing. Yeah.
So you can share, Tabitha.
Oh, okay, that's what I was at. All right. So-
All right, there she be. Okay.
So this is our draft forest management plan for the Wolfbrook property. As you, hold on, just a second. It's not. As you may know, the Wolfbrook property consists of a couple of parcels, and it is somewhat adjacent to Pequot Woods, as shown here on the map. And it was a purchase a couple of years back from the town. So the plan overview is that we are doing a final draft of, which has been given to you, of the forest management plan, and that's been prepared by a certified forester, who is Joshua Miller, who unfortunately couldn't attend, but he's always available for questions. So if you want to give any questions that are more detailed, they can go through me to Josh. It's been developed to explore the land for forest management options for the Parks and Recreation Department. You know, whether we do trails there or what we decide to do in the future. So we're doing a separate biological inventory as well, and that's Sacred Godwas putting that together for us with a fall completion. And we don't have any current scheduled permittable activities. This is really just discussion only. So some primary goals of the study, as I might have already touched on, is to understand the unique ecological features within the property and then look for ways to improve access. We've looked at potential parking on Noah Ledyard Road. There's some space there. Discouraging encroachments and unauthorized use. There's been a teepee on the property. There's all sorts of things that have been gone on there. Protecting the wetland and cultural resources, of course, controlling invasive species as much as we can, enhancing habitat through selective silviculture, and that's potential timber harvesting, and then supporting passive recreation. So some key ecological features that have he's touched on in the plan are that it's got 60 acres plus of wetlands and red maple swamp. We have vernal pools. There's rare species, including wood turtle and featherfoil. I thought featherfoil is kind of cool looking plant there. Which is a rare aquatic plant and a species of concern. And then also mature oak, tulip poplar, black birch, and mid-successional hardwoods. So just some habitat considerations. Like I said, no forestry or land management is planned in the wetlands. We wouldn't be looking to control invasive plants by anything but by hand controls. 2 temporary stream crossings could be proposed for the future if we were to do trails there, and buffers and BMTs would be, of course, be put into place, and we'd follow any wetlands requirements and pursue permits as necessary. So right now, as I mentioned, we're collecting feedback from everyone. We went to the Inland Wetlands Agency and we asked their feedback a couple of weeks or probably a month ago now. We've gone out to a group of select stakeholders for the project and asked for their feedback. And now we're looking to you to any feedback you have. And then by then we would finalize the plan with Josh and move forward with developing sketches of potential parking areas, access and trails, you know, if we want to put benches, that kind of thing. And then determining final user groups for the site. And then if silviculture is viable on the table, we'll discuss it as well. So that's further down the line. And as I mentioned, next steps is feedback. Finalizing that biological inventory. So Sigrun's working through November, she said. Might go a little bit further than that. And then beginning access and trail planning and potential permitting in the next calendar year. So that's it.
Cool.
All right, couple of questions on the process point of view. Does that mean that there won't be any active use of the land until sometime in 26 or 27?
Well, we don't discourage the use of the land at this current time. Anyone can go walk on the land, and there are pretty established gravel trails on the land. We just don't have any, you know, facilities built there, or it's not on the list for mowing or anything like that.
I meant, well, trail markers, for example.
Yeah, or trail markers or anything like that.
Right, so there's nothing, so that is out into what, 26, 27?
Well, we want to get the biological study back from Sigrun. So we're starting to do little sketches of where parking would be. And, but yeah, it probably, but I'm a realist and I'm not gonna tell you something that we can't achieve, and it's probably gonna be next year.
Okay. Well, I'm just, I was trying to get a feel of that.
Oh, sure.
No. And I guess I was gonna throw it open for discussion because one of my questions is, we have a draft version of this property that we have not published, but it's available and we have provided to you guys. So what's I'll ask Tom, I have my view, because I did look.
Oh, no, the draft stewardship plan that we put together, I talked to both Tabitha as well as to the forester here, and he had a copy of it and I answered, he had a couple of questions in detail about it, which I added, I answered, and I also provided some additional details in respect to questions and comments from our walk together, the walk that we did. So I think he's taken that in consideration, this plan, but the forest management plan, he has some strict guidelines per se, as far as on what he had to produce here.
Yep.
And so, you know, and I think what they're talking about is that their Parks and Recs has their management plan that an overall Parks and Rec type of management plan that they're working towards development, which is this forest management part would be a section, and the stewardship plan that we put together would potentially be a section, and then the forest, I'm not speaking for Tabitha here, but I think that Parks and Rec will put something together as far as what they want to be doing with it at a big picture.
I think you
I
summed it up
understand
very
it.
well, Tom. So
Yeah.
we're
She
trying to
agrees.
take all the pieces of all the information that we can possibly have and then put that together into a management plan that is hopefully meets the needs of the most residents that we can.
Right, because we, to be brutally honest with you, we provided a stewardship plan more so to kick the process off.
No, I was gonna say that there's a lot more detail in the draft plan
Mhm.
that they provided. And I focused kind of on the action list between
Yeah.
those, and so they covered, I believe, all the actions we had identified.
There's stuff, this is where I'm a little confused, and I guess this is really my first question, as far as I took a look at the property goals that are listed on page 7 of the document, page 14 for our agenda. You know, there's 7 big picture goals that they're looking for. But when I go take a look at the actions that they're recommending coming out, it all has to do with trimming and logging, which I'm a little confused as far as on when you go back further in the document, when they get to the you know, on the what
And
is it?
I think to answer that, Tom, it might have been that, like you said, this is a forest management plan. They have a somewhat strict format,
Yeah,
and they use a certain lens. And we brought to the table goals that included the goals from all of you, you know, through the stewardship management plan. And I think that maybe we need to tweak what actions come out. And I think that I come into this meeting with a question of if the items that I've listed are even appropriate from what you all think.
well, I guess my question is, if the recommendations are coming on page 39, 46 on our agenda, are for, maybe it needs to say, you know, these are the forest rehabilitation recommendations, because it comes across right now as these are the total recommendations for everything to do with the forest. But I think it's really, I think the priority is timber harvest, which I didn't see as one of the priorities listed at the very beginning. So there's a disconnect there, just as a comment to the plan. You know, either it's a terminology issue as far as what we're looking for goals and what are actionable items relative to timber management, which these all seem very reasonable. Yeah, I won't argue with the forester's recommendations, but it's just a matter of where do you put those relative to the goals for the property. Is one of the goals, none of the goals talked anything at whatever in regard to timber management and thinning and shelter wood and that type of stuff. I guess that's my first comment relative to what I see and what was, what we had to review prior to this discussion.
And we didn't give him those goals, so that's probably
Okay.
why. I think that's what his, evaluation of things is,
Okay.
and I think that it's what he's produced and what he's proposing is modest. It seems somewhat, but I'm not an expert on that at all, and I really do look to all of you for your feedback.
The other question, the follow-up to that is that typically these forest management plans are required by the US Forest Service, part of USDA, to get USDA grants. Okay. And so we could check the box that we have the forest management plan with the recommendations, and now you'd be eligible for USDA grants, I believe.
I didn't think the town was. It would have to have been an independent agency
I'd have to go take it. All I know is there's grants. I don't know what all the details as far
I
as,
agree with you,
yeah.
but it was land conservancies could then have the forest and then
Yeah.
get it like a GOSA could do it.
But there might be
Even
a
though-
separate program for
Yeah.
that, for
Yeah, right,
municipalities.
It wouldn't be that same.
The same program, identical program, but I think there are programs out there for, even for municipalities.
That was our belief, and that's why we followed the format. It seemed like it would make sense to be applicable to more things, but we probably have to research that a little bit more too.
Right. Other questions?
I have a couple of questions. This is Bray Templeton.
Hi, Frank.
The inland wetland, they have any concerns?
No, they were surprisingly quiet. I don't want to make it sound like they didn't say anything, but they really just said thank you and thought it was good to have a plan.
So that was a little bit of a loaded question on my part because it's very interesting to talk about timber management. And that has cropped up over the years with the Conservation Commission on other property that the town owns. And we got tremendous pushback from the inland wetlands when we first raised the flag. So it didn't go very far. It's interesting that, but I should say that when we were doing the walk through the woods with Forster, very impressed with his arguments for possibly doing timber cuts, right? And can enhance the forest. You're not coming in here clear cutting, you're selectively cutting and so forth. And I thought that was.
Static.
Oh,
That might.
okay.
Changes with that.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay, we'll try again. Thank you. So on that, moving forward, I thought there might be some static coming from the inland wetlands. The other thing was there was mentioned in there, which something that about boundary markers. I thought that was a great idea. And being involved with Pequot Woods, we don't have any. And most other spaces, we don't have boundary markers. So is that something that Parks and Rec, this is sort of a jump off point for them to start to think about that?
It's
going
funny you
forward?
ask that, because we're surveying, I think it's Maple Glen, and we're putting up boundary markers there as well. So I think and I'm not going to claim that I had the idea. I think Mark came to it on his own, and now we're starting to do it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it'd be interesting if we apply it to the rest of the town,
Like to all our properties.
all our properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Not
would be
asking you to do that tomorrow, but it's sometime in the future.
The week after next is fine.
Yeah.
Just as a side point, the town of Ledgerd has that on all their properties. They have a big yellow sign that goes on their boundaries,
Hmm.
really like every couple 100 feet, actually.
Kind of like the no trespassing mark.
Yeah,
some places
almost.
have.
But I think GOSA probably has theirs, but Avalonia, done boundary walks recently and they're smaller.
Yeah.
And if you get into the back part where people usually don't go but you're still trying to find the boundaries, you can walk around for a while when
It's easy.
Well,
no,
yeah,
it's not when the leaves come out.
I've got the town of Ledger one here. It says notice hunting, fishing, trapping, or trespassing by written permission only, town of Ledger. So I think that's part of it, is that they're concerned.
Is that sort of their repeat sign?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's pretty much every couple 100 feet or,
Right.
depending on what access of trails and that type of stuff.
Thank you.
Michelle,
I don't have anything, thanks.
Giselle,
No, I have nothing. Thank you.
all right. So, you indicate you're looking for feedback. Is there a formal reply you're looking for, or?
No, not at all, but if you have any any comments you'd like recorded in our records from this planning process, you can email me at twilson@groton-ct.gov.
All right. So I guess we all heard that. Okay. I asked the procedure, the process, the dates, some concerns, and
I'll
we'll move.
document them.
Okay, we'll move on. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Sam.
you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks.
All right.
And we have another public person here.
Is there any public comment you'd like to?
No, I think it looks like a very good plan, and I'm just trying to see kind of how it's evolving, and yeah, I'm interested because we committed to helping out the town with management planning and we're really overwhelmed with our own properties, but we intend to be part of this process.
All right, so I mean, it says other stakeholders. I assume that was you as well.
Well, I know that the Groton Conservation Advocates did some fundraising too.
Right,
And we
correct.
raised matching funds and they raised something like 50,000 or something. So then they feel they have
Also a
a
stakeholder.
stake in it, right?
Yeah, oh, I guess I forgot to ask the question is that where is this publicized? For public access?
I would say that if and I know Tabitha's already jumped off.
I forgot that was the question.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's any trail stuff is on Parks and Rec page. So that might be a comment if you want to put that in an email. I don't know if your plan is to send something jointly together or separately or whatnot, but that might be a comment to say where is the information about this being accessible to the public without facilities at this point.
Yeah, and I guess
Well, no, I think the issue is that I think she interpreted the question is, are you prohibiting people from coming? And she said, no,
No.
but that doesn't mean that it's listed as a publicly accessible, advertised park area as of today.
Actually, for the record, we should probably have you on record as your name and where you're from.
representing.
Represent GOSA, right?
Groton Open Space Association.
There we go. Now we're on,
Yeah.
got all the dots and
I
T's and
think
stuff.
the details of access are still a work in progress.
Yes.
I think the mapping of the trails, I have a vague idea where there's going to be an entrance where the old farmhouse was, right on the curve of Ledyard Road. And that would be where there's parking. There's right now, it's currently sort of flattish with a lot of invasives, but then it drops down into the woods. And it connects right up to, there is a loop trail, but it's very subtle. You sort of need to bring clippers and know where you're going in order to make the circuit successfully. So I think probably just saying it's available. I guess if you need to publicize it, maybe an entrance from Bel Air Park You can go in back through there. But even those trails need trimming. And there's an entrance, North Ledyard Road. Let's see, just a little bit north of the Wolfbrook subdivision on the left. There's a pump station, a brook goes under the road, the road dips. That's a very good trail there. But you don't get a complete circuit necessarily unless you know where you're going. I mean, you're just exploring. You're not guiding.
You gotta go cross country at
You're
the,
not,
Right.
you may not get back to your car in an hour. It may take you longer.
all right.
And that's probably why, I know that's been part of the talk too, of why it hasn't been heavily advertised, because if you there's no parking. And
Right,
if you do park on the, like heading north of North Ledges Road, if you park on the right-hand side, then now you're crossing traffic at a dangerous curve there. So I don't think that, probably in the best interest of the town, it's probably better not to advertise for that until there are actual safe facilities
Right.
But
that
it
are,
just
that are
listed,
trimmed from, from invasives and everything else. Exactly, because right now none of that's there.
and the other thing is on the town GIS website, this property is listed under the open space layer as publicly accessible open space.
Technically is. I
Yeah,
guess.
It is.
That's what I'm saying. It's not, there's prohibition. That's how she answered the question.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, I was thinking about,
Calling it out. I know what you mean.
but given the fact that it's in our agenda,
Mhm.
it's in the, at least to this channel, it's in the public domain, people usually don't dig into the agendas per se. And I was saying, should we put it on our website as a draft with the appropriate notice? And I'm hearing that maybe we shouldn't. Is any?
Well, I personally think this is still a Parks and Rec decision. It
Okay.
doesn't really belong to us. They paid for the forest management plan. They're developing this other overall park management, Wolfbrook property management plan that they're developing. So they're just giving us information since we were contributing to them. They're just giving us feedback, the status of where they are as far as under development under the Parks and Rec staff.
All right, fair enough. So we'll restrict ourselves to comments and let it lie until such time as they.
I would think at this point, those who are interested to walk the property know how to get there. And that advertising, because there isn't really a good trailhead anywhere, or parking, as Dave was pointing out,
Or markers.
or markers or
Or-
things, right, where the property lines are, et cetera, that if you want to go, you can. Nobody's being prohibited from the land.
And I'm sure there's going to be some sort of, when it gets through this process and, and everything else that goes along with it, there'll be like I'm sure there's going to be a big public opening and,
There's a lot of.
Yeah, oh,
money in, plus other
absolutely.
People's money. in.
but I think, from what Tabitha said, is they're trying to be very strategic about this and not trying to get ahead of it or set expectations so high that it's like, it's opening next month and like,
That's why I asked.
yeah, no, I know. That was a good question.
And just as a point of information, the stewardship plan, our approved one, is posted on our website already.
I thought we did.
It's updated and
Yeah.
posted. I've got it up right now. It's right here.
Our approval plan was there,
Yeah. Okay. So I wouldn't go beyond this.
yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
We will leave it be.
Well, I think it's awesome that there's actually forward motion and things getting done. So I think we need to acknowledge the fact that they actually have some major forward motion on here and a plan to actually do something and have it open by next year. I think that's great.
No, but it's good progress.
Yeah,
Just seems like it's slow.
well,
But I know, these things do tend to drag.
And
All
we
right,
did
any
acknowledge
other-
goes on the plan.
Yeah, any other?
Good on us.
Yeah, it's on the plan.
In partnership with.
In partnership with, remember that? Yeah. So, all right, with any other comments? All right, so we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is, I guess it's me. Report of chair. So. One of the things I ran across, and it's in the agenda, a very interesting Haley Farm
Mm.
art, I would say article, the memoirs or
Yeah.
something. But I thought it was, we don't write like that anymore. It was a good first reason. And we lost the art of writing, number
Yes.
one. But number two, there's a lot of information in there, especially how they build walls. I thought was kind
Yeah.
of engineering wise, to me was interesting. And then the picture. So I did publish it there. And I guess part of my question was, is there, I mean, it's again buried in the agenda. From a town point of view, does it has value to be provided? Maybe it's a parks and, well, it's a state property. So.
The state property, and the only question is, did you get this through the library? Because from the historical room at the library, because that'd be the appropriate place for archiving of this.
I got it from a really old resident that said, I have this, and I went, and looking good. Then I
So
have
that-
not ever seen that.
Because I'm not familiar, I haven't been in the historical room at the town library down there, but that'd be the place that would
To have it, to archive it or whatever.
that'd be-
Is this an original? Do you have the original or is it just a photocopy of?
No, well, yeah, Betsy, there is an original that I then
Copied.
copied.
Yeah.
But there is an original available. I'm gonna propose you donate it, but I just thought that the information was there.
Mhm.
Perhaps the thing would be is for you to pass along to the library and see if.
Yeah, I could. I've already passed along to staff and they thought it was really cool. So
Yeah, it was really cool,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, what should something else be done? Anyway,
I can check to see, I can check to see if they have a copy.
see if
How's
they
that?
have a copy, okay.
The other is the Mystic River Historic Society.
Mm.
In their archives would be another spot. Because they have their.
or you could go also to the Knowing Historic.
Or the knowing.
Yeah, with knowing which makes more sense.
Or to Wall. Have copies.
All right,
Thank you, by the way, for putting it in. That was
Yeah. that-
very interesting reading
Yeah,
and particularly enjoyed as the person was looking at the overall view around the area of different things that I didn't realize,
all right.
things that were out there.
Very good. Yeah, I thought, and I usually don't go in for that kind of stuff, but I thought it was. Okay, I attended a seminar on July 14th, which was taking action to reduce waste. It was on the other end of the state. And they do regional plans, not town plans. So it's like, I think it's like 5 towns in that arena. Most of the stuff isn't, there wasn't anything new. They had a lot of things that we kind of had talked about, pay to throw and other stuff like that. So the thing I got out of it the most was regional collective actions and collective plans, not just one town. I
Mhm.
think it's like 5, 6 towns, something like that. So that was interesting. I did get a FOIA request from John Goodrich through the town manager, and of which I replied, which is basically give me everything you ever said to the town manager. So I dumped everything I've ever said to the town manager. Have at it. So we have nothing, we have boring reading as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, and then I attended on July 30th, the Alliance for Mystic River Watershed
Oh, good.
planners meeting, and they went through a review of the new legislation. We usually talk about that, so I'll let you talk about that. And they did say something that on September 4th, the town of Stonington is going to publish their new flood analysis data, got data dump and plan, which I thought was interesting. So I kind of note on September 4th to see what they come up with. And I was going to say Megan, but I can't say that anymore. So I'm assuming, I'm sorry, who's our sustainability lead now?
So Alexa, yeah.
No, well, you'd send it to John. You know, we're in the midst of trying to fill that position.
Okay.
So there is
I thought
no-
He had
I mean, Alexis is the specialist for it.
okay, so, but basically just say it's John.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything for that for right now.
all right, I'll give a heads up to John. that, to be on the lookout for that
Yep.
analysis from Stonington. So I think there might be some interesting information in how they approached it.
I mean, I'm happy to also tell them too, so it's up
Oh,
to you.
okay.
I'll tell 'em.
Be my guest. You
Yep.
see him all the time.
It's true.
All right, I'll cross that off. Check. Now for the report of commissions, so we'll start with Giselle, since she had one and didn't get to present it last time. Oh, wait a minute, she disappeared.
No, she's on there. She's on,
Oh,
she's
as a
under
panelist,
panelist.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Larry,
Hi.
you jumped off.
I jumped off?
First, you were a panelist and then for some reason now you weren't. I can invite you again.
Okay, oh, maybe I just didn't accept.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
That's
My fault. My fault.
all right, Giselle. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So my thing that I sent you, Larry, wasn't discussed last meeting. That's okay. Let me pull it up real quick, my little notes. So on June 13th, I did attend a virtual public meeting hosted by CT Deep on their climate action plan. You can find their slides on their website, or I can, provide them to you, whichever is easiest. I thought it was interesting. The whole topic was basically about, CT Deep's focus on advancing the state's comprehensive climate action plan, and their presentation centered around their triple impact plan that aims to lower energy costs, boost community resilience, and cut climate pollution to meet Connecticut's emissions goals. And their target for 2030 is to reach 45% below the 2001 level. And then it just keeps going from every 10 years, the 2040, 2050. And their featured actions that they had, which I thought was interesting, was the heat pump deployment and the urban forestry initiative. I want to follow up with them about that, either with the representative was Representative Parker and or Commissioner Dykes, if I remember, if I'm correct with that. Those two things were of interest to me, and I did have some questions like I would like to bring. I don't know if it's okay to discuss it now, or should I wait till like the new ideas section?
Oh, you didn't ask if there's any new items for the agenda.
Well,
Yeah.
we could put it, it does overlap. I mean, this is also a report of commissioners, so I think you can just,
Okay.
Yeah.
you can put it as part of this. It
Yeah,
doesn't need to.
Yeah, rather.
I mean, the stuff that should go into new business is big picture stuff, like brand new topics that need to be discussed. I think just reporting out. Giselle, if there's something that comes out of what you're discussing with the commission now that should be a topic next time to talk more about, but we can obviously add that to new business.
Go for it.
Of course. So these are just questions I have, either for us and or if I reach out to the representatives. It's just I have a whole bunch of questions on a lot of things. So when they were talking, a question that was brought up was like, what role can our town play in implementing a heat pump or the urban forestry initiatives? The urban forestry, I would like to follow up with CT Deep on that on a separate topic anyway. Another question I had was, how can we ensure equity in our local climate actions? And are there local plans that need to be updated to support these goals? I feel like that's more of an us question maybe, and I'm just, like I said, I have a lot of questions, and I found it interesting, and kind of just gonna see like if there's any action plans that we can do. And one that I thought of was maybe we can propose a local climate action inventory, or if we already have one, but I feel like I'm going everywhere, so I'll just shut up right now.
So I can provide an update on all that. The town OPDS, really under sustainability and resilience is in the process of that right now. So we're in the midst of Climate Ready Groton, which is going to be our climate action plan. There is a steering committee. Commissioner Schmidt's on that committee. There's going to be a launch of that in September. So all the things that you're kind of talking about are actually being covered through the climate action plan, and there will be a report in another year that will highlight all that. In terms of the heat pump initiative, before Megan left, she's been working on several outreach. I think they did 2 outreach events specifically on heat pumps. So they've already kind of done stuff like that, but there'll be more that'll come out of probably other recommendations of the climate action plan.
Oh,
Thank-
that's great to hear. I guess a random question that I just thought of right now is there something that I don't want to just offer up to the commission, but like that we can do to help provide? Do you just want comments? Is it kind of just like it's a them, not a
Yeah,
us
content.
thing?
You can say it. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Giselle, this is Anne.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on the advisory committee for the
Oh.
folks that are actually doing the Climate Ready, Groton as
Mhm.
the link to the commission.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, then. That's great.
And anything you want to do with it is fine with me. I'll
And I'll-
engage you.
And I'll just add on top of that. So, obviously we're in the midst of a bunch of planning, basically planning efforts at this point right now, as we've talked a lot about Groton 2035 and Climate Ready Groton. There's going to be a lot of stuff starting to come out that the staff on behalf working with the consultants are going to be looking for feedback. I was going to talk a little bit about that further on, but for stuff like with the Climate Ready Groton, you're going to start seeing they're pretty close to getting close to launching a new Greater Groton page, specifically on Climate Ready Groton. As I mentioned last month, the Groton 2035 Greater Groton. Wow, there's too many Grotons in one thing. The Groton 2035 Greater Groton webpage has been updated since the last time we talked, and is constantly being updated with new stuff, new dates and everything like that. And we can talk more about that when we get to the Groton 2035 part. But in order for any of these, efforts to be successful, we really are looking for the feedback. So, and there'll be plenty of time to attend events or provide comments or whatnot. So it's probably going to be to the point you're like, whoa, this is a lot of information. So it's going to start getting to be a lot. So like, just stay tuned. There'll be a lot of stuff coming.
Right. And as to the urban forestry, Giselle, as our forestry advocate, and you obviously are the right person to pursue that particular question. So have at it.
Thanks. Thank you. But in July, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't able to accomplish a lot. I did watch last month's meeting and a whole bunch of other questions. I'm kind of disappointed I wasn't there. That one I had a whole bunch of thoughts, questions on. I can probably bring it up later, or I can reach out to the 2 ladies that presented. I forgot their names already, but like I said, I just had a whole bunch of ideas, thoughts that I can probably provide to them and or us.
So Giselle, if you have some thoughts, why don't you just send me an email and I can forward it on to Joanna and Krista at Horsley Witten.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Tom
Okay.
Dump.
A couple items here. The BACWAC, they have a meeting this week, but in parallel with that, there's been a lot of communications with regard to a potential BACWAC sponsored with Holmgren with the Long Island Sound folks for an additional cleanup. Working with Michelle Maitland from Public Works, she finally was spearheading that, and then it turned out that when they finally got their stuff together, they asked for an update from me, so I provided the update in regard to the sites. I said the sites are, if you want to do this in like August to September, you're going to have a tough time finding all the trash. Based on that, they basically backed off on doing anything on Birch Plain Creek and shifted over to Esker Point. And so that whole crowd and the cleanup effort will be re-diverted. There's nothing happening on Backwhack, but I just wanted to point that out. Another area was as included in the presentation in our agenda package was the stuff on the culverts, the Connecticut Coastal Crossings projects. I provided the presentation in here. I do point out that on page, we were featured as an example of as an insignificant barrier in Groton. So on page 18 or 101 of your package. I was kind of impressed there that they actually have already started this, but the entire town of Groton is in their survey area where they're going to be updating because there's a new state law in place in regard to all the maintaining the culvert crossings and the like. So I kind of forwarded this information over to Noah because obviously he's going to need to get involved in this in regard to having an additional layer or whatever into his system as far as on where all this stuff is. And I think he already has a lot of this information already, but more to follow. This whole initiative got started 2 years ago when I was talking with Katie Lund from NER, and then she's then subsequently got the TNC and Long Island Sound and everybody heading this way and now getting money in place. The one culvert that from a Backwhack Birch Plain Creek perspective, that's probably the most critical one that has the least chance of being fixed is the railroad crossing at the outlet of Birch Plain Creek. This is just off of Thomas Road, just south of Thomas Road. The next Thomas Road itself is a nice big wide one and all this kind of stuff, but there's two little stone encased. I've actually taken a kayak, but you had to kind
Yeah,
of
you showed us pictures at one time.
Yeah, one time to get through there, but it's only about, I think they're about 24 inches wide, so it's kind of tough getting that, and that's really restricting because of the but and there's really no way because it's privately owned by the rail company, and it was fine at the time, and there's no grandfather, they're essentially grandfathered in at this point, but it's the constraint that they're really going after here relative for tidal flow. And that's what's happened here is up at the far end where the Joel property is along by Sneakers and on Peconic Road there, it's all evasive phragmite now, and because of a lack of tidal flow. And so that's I've kind of been monitoring this project, but I just want to give you an update. And there's more happening here, and there's state laws got to put in place. The money's been found. They're going to be going around the whole town, taking a look at all these additional crossings. But I don't know how we're going to go in the long run solve the problem that does exist at this one location. Or to follow.
For the rail collapses.
Well, the rail, I from my other worry my NAVC had from the Naval Sea Systems Command, that is a very critical railway for the construction of the submarines. So it does get looked at. The rail is not collapsing or anything like that. It's in great condition, to be brutally honest with you, because it's certified for a bunch of special shipments and stuff to support the submarines. That said,
tidal flow is what kind of undermines
but it has a great stone foundation there, and it's been there for 100 years, literally. And it's not falling apart. So there's no reason for them to increase the size of it the damage was done when they built it, and there was basically no approval processes at the time it was built. And so there was water flowing, and so that was good enough, but the engineering analysis was inadequate at the time, to be brutally honest, relative to now we see the impacts decades later.
Yep.
And so now to go fix it, that's where they're going to want, I can tell you from dealing with the railroad, they're going to come, Mr. Government, if you want it, pay for it.
Yeah.
Because they already did that with wearing my NAVC hat. I already provided them millions of dollars to keep the bridge going out over, the roadway there, a couple hundred feet, yards down the pipe and down the rail. So
Okay.
that was in pretty dire straits, but this, you know, other
one's
parts in good shape,
Okay.
relatively speaking.
All right, well, we'll come back in 100 years and see how
Yeah,
it goes.
okay. So, and the only other,
Put that down.
the only other thing that I,
21, 22.
relative to back whack and stuff is that they did put a thing out that back was, it was instrumental with getting this in with your sewer bill. It went out to everybody. And then they also, attended another Dark Sky Connecticut, presentation, in which, this was done through the Mystic Knowing Library. Joan was there with me. This is the data point. But one of the things that got me thinking is to go take a look at what of our ordinances are relative to light pollution and everything else. One of the things that, you know, this subject was addressed back to the town council back in April of 23 by Miss Kelly Polson of Laurelwood Road, and a whole factor of light pollution and light trespass and wanting a town ordinance. Turns out the city does have an ordinance on this topic, but the town doesn't. So I just don't know, should we be looking at light pollution as something that the commission should be looking at on a future basis? I just toss that out there because nothing, it's been now of 2 years and nothing's happened for the town council. And they basically referenced taking a look at the zoning and taking a look at, is there a violation of zoning? Because zoning does talk about this stuff in gory details, but not from an ordinance perspective, similar to what the city has. So I just don't know if we want to, we've got a lot of stuff on our.
Isn't the same.
Yeah.
So
Can I ask Tom, what does the city restrict that town does not?
Well, how much lumens you can have, how many days you can have your Christmas lights up for and everything. It's at that level of detail.
Wow.
Okay, you get a total of 45, I think, days over the course of the year for special event illumination and all this kind of
Well,
stuff.
the reason for asking is that on my street, a number of years ago, they switched over to LED lights.
Yeah.
And they're flat.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's all in our zoning. It's all included in the zoning.
Right,
Yeah.
so there have been improvements. But I haven't heard anybody kickback to say particularly they were looking at light going up,
Yeah,
lost light,
for the birds and
rather
those
than
things.
safety on the street. Yeah, so I haven't heard, I thought once they put those in, I hadn't heard any echoes at all of anyone complaining
Yeah.
about light pollution, which is always certainly something to take a look at every so often anyway.
Yeah. So I just broke that up if people want to go forward with it. So
Our lighting regs are pretty strong, you know, they're all,
but that's all based on new construction.
it is, it's not, and that's
going back
really
to-
the trigger of that,
Yeah.
that we get them on, is like everything has to be full cut
Now,
up.
I guess the question is, if somebody comes in and now I want to put up a light in my house.
We do not, we
Okay.
can't regulate that.
Okay.
No homes, it's just businesses.
This is businesses.
Oh, unless it's something attached to a, you know, it has some sort of home-based business or something.
Yeah.
We have some control there, but we can't.
Yeah, that
and-
was the other thing, yeah.
we wouldn't
The
ever manage.
residential zoning areas are excluded from those
Yep.
regulations. So
And
I just brought it up just because I asked what we do and I did do some research on it.
It's certainly not on our
On our radar.
priority list that we
Yeah.
have discussed.
Okay, no problem.
I would say put that on the think
Back
about
burner.
it again.
Yeah.
Not in 100 years. We can come back in a couple of years and. think
table
about
for
that.
future, all right,
Yeah,
how's that?
Future.
Okay, I'm all done.
That's it.
Yep.
A light month, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're up.
All right, on July 20th, I went to the Ditty Bag where the Mystic River Alliance had the output from kids from Groton schools that they've been working with. And that was really an interesting thing to look at. So I just wanted to say that Maggie and all of the folks at the Mystic River Alliance did a fantastic job working with the teachers and educating them and getting in the curriculum at the schools, kind of teaching the kids all about all kinds of water quality issues and that kind of thing. And so the output of their suggestions of what should be done is very much in line with what I think the alliance, the bigger alliance is thinking about anyway. So it's really nice to see that. Unfortunately, wasn't able to attend the 30th meeting. So I'm glad, Larry, that you made it. I'm going to watch the recording of that one. And then I was going to say that I'll be at the September 18th climate action plan meeting. And that's it.
Okay.
I have nothing.
That's not on the agenda.
Okay. Giselle?
We just did.
We did that, right?
Started.
Well, that
Just
that
out.
was all from last month.
No, she did.
Yeah,
No, she did. She did updates
This
too.
month too.
Okay. All right.
Unless you want to add anything.
Old business, 6.1, open space inventory. Tom,
No actions on.
well, you provided a July 9th memo on the status of, so this is the August meeting, so it's after the, on the copy of the 2024 PA 490.
Oh, the farm versus,
Right.
forest.
You forgot you did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate seeing that, so thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any action per se. I mean,
No,
it's just you provided that.
Yeah, that was just a follow-up from
Right,
the last
right,
meeting.
I know, it's a
Because I already
follow-up.
discussed it and everything at the last meeting.
All right. Just trying to help you out.
I have nothing new.
Okay. Let's see. 6.2, open space planning. I had no items here. Okay. Groton 2035. We had the baseline report was provided last month. I mean, I went through
It's a
it.
baseline.
Yeah, that's a baseline. And it seems to me that similar to the 10 years ago, the number of kids is still going down.
Mhm.
So it's not a wonderful projection there. So I don't know, but it's a baseline and it has a lot of information in there.
The one thing I can comment, I did review the whole thing and as far as, taking a look at Mike's target area as we were looking at things, as far as the open space definitions and that type of stuff, I felt that these guys did a good job of incorporating all our wants that we had talked about over the last year and a half.
Did throw a lot of our stuff in there.
Yeah, and so I got the impression that,
So,
yeah, which is good.
which is good, yeah.
I told you we passed it on.
Hopefully, well, just passing it on doesn't necessarily mean it gets.
No,
Except-
it does. If you're dealing with me, how long have you guys dealt with me for?
All right. All right, so that was, yes, that was the other point, is that they actually had a lot of the
Yep.
reference information that we had given them.
Again, if you have any comments on the baseline report, feel free to send them to me, and I'm happy to forward them on to Horsley Witten. Obviously, it's
I'll forward them to you.
okay. Sure thing.
It's minor, I think.
No, that's fine. Yep. Because we really haven't got, I mean, it's a big document, so we haven't really gotten, I mean, and it's also the baseline report. That's not you guys are all looking for the implementation stuff and that's, all that, and that's coming.
Well, the question is, did they get the facts right? I mean, it's.
Right. No, absolutely. You got to start somewhere. Yep.
Yeah, well, they included some comments about taking into account climate
Mhm.
in some areas, but not in others, where I thought it was
So,
in infrastructure. So
yeah, there's going to be,
I'm sure it'll be.
what you'll see that's going to come out of this, that there's going to be a spotlight on resilience in every single topic. So it's not a separate topic.
Mhm.
It's all incorporated through all of the different topics of Groton 2035. And that's the stuff you're going to start seeing coming up. And you guys can keep talking. At the end, I can tell you some more little tidbits.
All right, so, I mean, other than, did you have specific comments you wanted to pass along?
Well, I can just send
Yeah,
them
she
to
can forward
Dave.
me,
I
yeah.
mean,
Okay, I
they're
would-
on the infrastructure
Yeah.
and some climate resilience
Yep.
that probably should at least have that.
And remember, so both Groton 2035 and Climate Ready Groton are happening at the same time. So there's going to be one way or another. There's going to be a lot of crossover. You know, like obviously one's they're similar but different, but you know the topics kind of intertwine and stuff. So you'll probably see, and we have two different consultants working on both of those projects. So, but there is coordination among the consultants working on it to make sure that information gets out there. But anything you have, I'm happy to forward on. So yeah.
Thank you. 6.4, well, budget support. I guess we're not quite ready for the next cycle yet. So
Yeah.
we got a breather here on what we want to do in the budget support. So that's
Before you go too far ahead, my quick update for just so again, anything for Groton 2035 is going to be on that Greater Groton page. So as soon as you know drafts are released and whatnot, that's when things are going to be starting to come up. I'll try to give you as much heads up as I can when some major stuff comes out. In terms of next meetings, now remember, Planning and Zoning Commission is a steering committee, so there is going to be over the next 4 months there's going to be a meeting once a month. I think it's the last Monday of the month, to start getting into more of these kind of like focus areas and whatnot and have discussions on that. So the first one coming up is going to be this month, is August 25th, September 29th. Oh, I'll go slower, sorry. October 25th, September 29th, October 27th, and November 24th. And this is to put together each of the pieces in each of the chapters for Groton 2035 and to help integrate that with the
is
implementation.
there a tri-commission meeting somewhere in
That we do not we are working on scheduling a date. The answer is yes. But we don't have that until it gets confirmed. I can't give you a date, but yes, it is happening.
Okay,
There's no question about that.
okay.
Yep. But like I said, these dates are out there. So again, these are kind of special Planning and Zoning Commission meetings to talk and to hear from the consultants about the different topic areas. So you don't have to attend, but if you want to, or you want to watch the video after, or you want to go remotely, whatever,
So
it
these
gives you.
meetings are not for public comment. It's just for their.
They're going to be like, I think they're going to be like workshops. So I think they're going to be basically presenting to the commission, and then obviously all that information is going to be out, and then meaning the consultant.
So we
Yeah,
can
exactly.
review it. All
Yeah,
right.
the consultants will be looking for feedback from that. So, okay.
So next day we can get online and. look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's pretty.
Or it's gonna be,
And it's gonna be on Groton too. Yeah. So
It'll be open.
most likely we're gonna link all the meetings to there once they're up on YouTube, and again all the documentation will be up on Greater
I
Groton.
mean, it'll be on Zoom. You could join,
Yeah,
listen
you
by
can join,
Zoom.
yep, just like you can join this one. Yep, yeah, they're all it'll be publicized. I think we're in CR1. So yep.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Sorry.
here's my favorite one. 6.5, vacant land. We're gonna visit that in 100 years? My Lord, I mean, so it seems like I do know there's been some progress on one of the properties, but it does seem to be going slowly. Do you have any updates on that?
I do not have any update. Nothing more than what you have seen and heard and whatnot. I do not have any update.
And the only
That
update
is,
is they're going to be voting tomorrow on
Yes.
Pleasant Valley finalization.
yes.
Because the
But
RTM
yeah,
approved
vote
it.
seems a little, no. Okay.
It's rubber stamp. Because the
Well, yeah,
RTM's already
the thing
done.
is, we don't really know what the proposal is yet.
Yes, you do. You had the RFP went out, and his response to the RFP was provided, and they provided two town meetings or public hearings on the topic. And now he'll go into, as they presented, he's only at 30% design.
Yeah,
So-
well, I guess what I meant was, he had a lot of comments and from John was, well, when we get into negotiation,
Right.
we will address it. So that's what I meant by, there's still a lot to be.
Yeah, and the negotiations, we have a verbal from the planning staff that they're going to include maximization and discussions of
Right.
easements,
So-
and
so
that
let me-
information has all been provided to the negotiation team.
Okay, so
Uh,
let me assume that it gets rubber stamped tomorrow.
Yeah.
When would there be a checkpoint after some period of time where we could understand what happened during the negotiations to see if what some of our requests actually were. entertained?
That's a John question about timing and whatnot. And so, John or Corinne question at this point. If you haven't watched the process, Corinne has done a really good job in terms of kind of spelling out where and documenting exactly where in the process things are and where they're going. That PowerPoint, I'm sure you two have seen it. And so if I know it's confusing in terms of time frame and whatnot, but she really spells it out there. So if you haven't seen it, that information is online and you can also watch the video
Well,
too.
it's generic, not.
It is.
Specific Pleasant Valley, when will that,
Yeah, I know.
3 months?
Okay,
Okay, so that's a question, John.
Well, no,
that's a
but-
question for John, and he may not know.
That question was asked of her, okay, and when she explained it, is that they can't predict anything until after they get the final approval. Then they will go set up a meeting with the contractor and put a timeline
That's what I
together.
said, so
Yeah.
they say yes tomorrow. Now I'm asking.
Yeah, we
It-
have no dates,
Right, there's-
because there's still, it's still like that
One of my
piece bill.
things to do.
Yeah, I would,
The rough estimate was at least the end of the year.
yeah.
When she was asked that same question at the public
Yeah.
hearing that I attended.
That's probably aggressive, given the past.
Contractor,
Yeah.
he's a new guy.
Yep, okay. All right. Vacant land. Connecticut.
Right, so there's one thing that's in two pieces. So the first piece is that I did send the results from the work we did on the trail mapping software. The students sent that to Tabitha in Parks and Rec. So that's the report on 6. The report on 7 is that the subcommittee will be meeting with them at the end of the month to talk about that program and any other discussion that has to go along with what they want to do about the results and what we want to do going forward with the stewardship of the properties.
Your view on what might come out of that?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that they like the idea of using one of those trail things so that we can start giving them to volunteers when they walk the trails to use. But I don't have an idea whether they're gonna like it or not.
What do you think that checkpoint is?
We just said it's gonna be the 20th of August at 2 p.m. is what we're gonna suggest to,
That's what we just talked. about.
right, that we're gonna suggest to Tabitha. And then, she did say, thanks for all the work. And I just don't have a sense of whether they're going to find it the level of usefulness they were hoping for. So we'll find that out
Okay,
on the 20th.
so we'll address that at our next meeting under this topic.
Sure thing.
Right,
All right,
right.
all right,
That's it.
that's it. Open space stewardship?
That was open space stewardship.
That part was.
Well, that part,
That part was, yeah.
one, but
So,
okay.
yes.
Outreach, I don't think we have.
I don't think there's anything new. Well, there's not for me anyway.
Tree Advisory Board, back to Giselle. Any,
Hi, sorry. I don't have much. What I do want to do is reach out again to CT Deep on their 2025 tree plan, see if I can get a hold of someone and possibly Jeff Church. I know he's a busy bee, but I would still love if he could attend one of our meetings.
yeah, we said that we would wait till we get through the busy summer. But it's probably not a bad thing to say, line it up for November,
Yeah,
something like that. So if you take that action, then at least let us get them locked in for November.
okay, for November.
Okay. Yep,
Cool.
thank you. And the most important aspect of our meeting is the report of staff.
Well, I gave you the update on the Groton 2035. The only other thing that's coming up is we haven't done one for a little while, but we have our next community conversation coming up on August 20th. So if it works
Well,
out with, if it works out with Tabitha, then you can just go right to there.
Right to there.
Oh, exactly.
Get nothing to eat. 'cause you-
What time is that?
5:45 to 7:15. Yep, food will be provided. We will be meeting at Thrive 55. And the topic is actually flooding. So, this is something I've been putting together for a while. Would like to start having bigger conversations about specifically about flooding and having people kind of better understand their risks and start thinking about flood insurance. We will have Diane Ikovic, who is the state floodplain coordinator for Connecticut Deep. She'll be there to do a presentation. We'll have breakout sections. I know probably all of you know that if you are in a flood zone, but as part of the reference there, some of the breakout stuff that we're going to do is we're going to have staff around tables to actually look up your property for you, see if you're in a flood zone, and basically give you a card that on the back has a QR code that you can directly find out if you don't have flood insurance, and you would like to inquire about it. You can actually do a quote. So the FEMA actually has a flood insurance quote website now. So it basically, you put in your address. So whether you are in a velocity zone or you're not even in a flood zone, it'll ask you a few questions and it'll give you a baseline quote for flood insurance. Because basically the reality is that part of what we want to underscore is that it doesn't matter if your home is directly in a flood zone, there's still a really good chance that it can flood. And especially based upon, I know the last 2 months have not been indicative of some of the massive rainstorms we've had. I think we've barely had 2.5 inches of rain in June and July. But that being said, when we do see events, we're seeing massive downpours that are impacting, communities and homes way outside what was historically known as the 500-year storm or the 0.2% annual chance storm. So you think about the storm that happened in southwestern Connecticut last year. You look at what's happening down south, and all that, and part of what we'd like to do through this is just get people to realize that everyone's in a flood zone, whether you're in a FEMA flood zone or not, and it's something that you should consider, because when push comes to shove and the event happens and you don't have flood insurance, your homeowner's insurance is most likely not going to cover that. And so, and especially with not knowing where FEMA stands right now, there may not be any funding anyway. So, but at least if you have flood insurance, that is the best way to protect your property. So, yes.
There was talk a few years ago that FEMA was going to update maps.
They are, yes. So
They are, it seems like.
So here's where they're at. As you guys probably know, I'm the floodplain coordinator for the town. And so I get to review all that stuff anyways. So there were inland maps produced, draft inland maps produced a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now. I reviewed them all. The changes were pretty minor for Groton. So I sent back the comments. Those were supposed to be published last year. Clearly, we're here now. What we're really interested in is the coastal maps, because there's a potential for some big changes for the coastal maps. From what we have been told, is they're still on task for 2026. I'm not holding my breath at this point right now, but we need updated maps. Our maps are back from 2013, and really a lot has changed. Development has changed a lot in the flood zone. Climatic conditions have changed a lot, and so we're really waiting for those updates. But at this point, nothing. And obviously, when those get finalized and released, we'll do another big public event to share the maps with the community and stuff, and to discuss what the changes are and stuff. But at this point, as you've heard, most things for FEMA are on hold, or if they're not on hold, they're just keep moving along, but nothing proactive has been happening. So we're trying to be proactive to do this whole flood discussion. So, and at least, again, get people to kind of think about their risk, understand their risk a little bit more, understand the community's risk a little bit more, and potentially take steps to protect their property and themselves. So
So just so I understand, the federal administration is basically saying it's a state issue. So who the state is doing this? Are they able to issue these maps and stuff locally from a state? I assume that's under DEP, right?
Yeah, but we don't know. That's what we don't know. You know, we're not sure where and this is something that I've already talked to Diane about, because I know people know maps are supposed to be coming. So some of these questions are probably going to come up. The community conversations are going to be the same format as before. It'll be a small presentation. It'll be some breakout sessions, and then we'll come back for questions. So like questions like that, definitely. Hey, while you have the state head for floodplain, ask those questions, and she may not have a great answer. But it's, I think it's on all the minds of a lot of people. So, and especially, from our perspective, from the towns, we just, like I said, it would be good to get some new maps. So, all right,
Okay.
August 20th, be there.
I move we adjourn.
For a second.
I'll second.
Well, looks like we're on summer hours.
Woo-hoo!
All in favor?
Aye.
Giselle?
I.
All right, unanimous.
What, you don't want to just stay online for another 45 minutes?
Well, we can. You guys really want to.
No, we're good.
Not us.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Giselle.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.